that kind of injury is at least a minimum of 7-9 months. But when you factor in the fact that Osaze is also at an advanced stage, he's 32 years, he won't heal as quickly as probably someone who's 20 or 18. So I'm just hoping that they can come up with a better diagnosis. But the initial diagnosis, like when you said, it's not good at all. So he's definitely in our prayers and in our thoughts as well, because he has served his country with distinction over the past few years. Yes, he has had a few run-ins, but it doesn't take away the fact that he has been a talented and a loyal servant to the Nigerian people and the Nigerian national team.
All right, so that's the story around Osaze Odemwingie. We wish him very quick recovery, and we hope that the injury is not as bad as initially speculated. We hope he's able to bounce back quickly and maybe play a role for Nigeria before the end of the new football season. The season is just new, and it's difficult for you to accept the fact that you are out for the rest of the season. So devastating for Peter Osaze Odemwingie. All right, let's look at some messages from Twitter. Wumi Adewakun at Wumi Omoba says, good evening. Which NFF is taking charge of the administrative aspect of this game in Calabar? Interesting question. One thing we know of.
That the match will hold.
The game will hold, that's one thing.
For now, anyway.
The game will hold for now, hoping that the hammer doesn't fall. That's one thing. Another thing we are sure of, we don't know which, we know the NFF that the Congress that FIFA recognizes, we know the one that government recognizes. So, and this is a FIFA event, so I don't know which of the NFFs, whether the one that FIFA recognizes or they don't recognize, will take charge. But one thing I'm sure of is we have a general secretary that both government and FIFA recognize. So that man can take charge of things ahead of the game against Congo, if he's allowed to take charge of things ahead of the game against Congo and South Africa. So that answers your question, Wumi Adewakun. Donyin Kasumu says the way forward is for us to have an all-inclusive fresh election, no vacation. We are not discussing NFF yet, so maybe I should just skip these tweets about the NFF, and then later on, when we talk about the NFF, we'll look at some of the tweets. Fatukasi OH, at Fatukasi OH says, Joel Obi and Nosai Gebo are not good for the World Cup, but they are good for the qualifiers. Let's stop being partial. The problem is, Joel Obi, Keshi gave the hint that Joel Obi could have made his World Cup team if he was fit. He was just coming out of injury, and I think the same applied to Nosai Gebo. And both players are fully recovered now. So the fact that they didn't go to the World Cup doesn't mean that they were not good enough to make it to the World Cup. There were other factors that could have played the role.
But it happens everywhere. Even the Dunga has recorded Robinho to the national team.
Yes.
Some of the players
that didn't make it.
So it happens. So
but it just leaves Stephen Keshi a bit short in the midfield, because he called up John Mikel Obi, Ogenyo Nazi, Nosai Gebo, Joel Obi, Ramon Aziz. Now Ogenyo is out. That leaves him with just 4 to choose from. But I think we still have plenty of other options as well.
Plenty of other options as well. All right. Okay, we need to go on a break right now. When we return from the break, Tobi Adepoju will be joining us, and together we'll be taking a look at the state of Nigerian football. What is the latest going on? Confusion over confusion, new suspensions, new crises day in, day out, and yet few hours to the deadline that FIFA has given unto us to do something, or else we'll come under the hammer. We'll talk about all of that and more on Sports Tonight. Join us again. All right, thank you for staying with us. It's still Sports Tonight, and we've made a change. Tobi Adepoju has joined us on Sports Tonight. And Tobi, let me start by asking. You were asking questions. I hope you didn't travel.
Yeah.
Because you were asking questions that you wanted to travel to confirm if things are going to happen. Really? What did you discover?
Really,
there was a game played in the National League.
Yeah, on Friday, Goran
and Unisem Rovers.
A lot of teams traveled, even the Henenekra United. A couple of teams in the league also. Nembe City were expecting to play by SI in the derby in Benin. I think
derby in Benin.
So it was a very pathetic situation over the weekend, because everyone wanted to travel. At some point we hoped for maybe league games will hold. I had my bag ready to cover one of these games, but honestly, the game failed to hold, and it's just sad. We just hope we can just find a solution to all this.
Anyway, let's do this very quickly. We've tried to put together for you updates from the Giwa-led faction of the Nigerian Football Federation, and we've also tried to put together updates from the Congress-led faction of the NFF. And let's put out for you, as you are seeing on your screen, some of those issues, the latest updates that we have. FIFA said we don't recognize Giwa, September 1 midnight, be out of that office, or else we will refer you to one of our bodies for appropriate sanctions. But the fact of the case is that Giwa-led faction continue to remain in office. In fact, they just left the glass house now. They held the first executive committee meeting, and it took place right there inside the Secretariat of the Nigerian Football Federation. At least that is a show of the fact that, look, we are in command. FIFA may agree, they may not agree, but we are the ones in charge. The first vice president of the Giwa-led faction of the NFF, in fact, says that the letter from FIFA that came on Friday may be fake. That's a fake letter that's going around. And so they will get to the root of the matter. This one, sources, top sports ministry source has also told us that the sports minister wants FIFA to extend the deadline of tonight, midnight today, till Friday. How exactly is going to do that? I don't understand. I don't know if a minister can correspond with FIFA directly, because they won't recognize whatever letter comes that doesn't come through their affiliates. That's their member. That's the Nigerian Football Federation. And then the Congress-led faction, that's the other group now, are continuing with their plans to hold elections on September 4. And in fact, they are raising alarm over General Secretary Musa Amadu's safety. And then this is interesting as well. From still in that line, Amaju Pinnick, Delta State Sports Commission Chairman, Dominic Ayofa, Lobby Stars Supremo, Abayola, Taiwo Gunjobi, Amanze Ochegbola have all indicated interest in being the president. I mean, from the other group, they've downloaded forms. And the Electoral Committee have also told us that that website has had over 400 downloads of forms, meaning a lot of Nigerians really are showing interest in the elections coming up. The House Committee on Sports public hearing session that was supposed to hold with the sports minister today didn't hold. We don't understand why, but we are told that it's now going to hold tomorrow. So we don't understand why it didn't hold today, but tomorrow, let's hope that it holds. The minister can explain his own side. And then this is the news flash just coming in right now. And that's for the fact that the Giwa-led NFF function have announced the suspension of the league management company, LMC, for Premier League clubs' boycott of Week 26 matches. And they have set up a 6-man committee that has Fatai Olaniyan, Romsin Baribote, Oke Ibe, Isaac Danladi, Tijani Babangida Litu, and Tunji Babalola as the secretary. And they are to oversee the running of the Nigerian Premier League games till the end of the season. The committee is also mandated to chart a new roadmap for elections into the board of the Nigerian Premier League. That's what we hear, okay? And interesting, among other things that they decided as well, they set up a reconciliatory committee comprising of Dominic Oneya, Ibrahim Galadima, Gebre Chukuma, Elder Dixon Adejube, Professor Onje Iwado, to reconcile all factions in the football family accordingly on how to resolve the conflict currently going on. All right? Guys, very quickly, what can you make out of what's going on? Onye?
Tony, this embarrassment must stop. You know, I think that's the message we should send out across to this